Hello and welcome to eCBSE online classes. We're continuing the module statistics from mathematics. The specific topic of today's video is measures of central tendency. And this is part A3 of the video series in this module. In the past two videos, we have looked at tabular and graphical representation of data. First, frequency distribution tables, either ungrouped or grouped. And we have also looked at the graphical representation of data, specific details of bar charts, histograms, and frequency polygons. Let's continue our exploration in this subject further. Let me take a table of marks obtained by two students in 5 different subjects and let's ask ourselves a question. Whose score is better? So your immediate logical attempt may be to sum all these marks of each student and look who scored more. Correct? For Vani, the total is 10 plus 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7, that is 42. Average is 8.4. And for Ramu, it is 41 is the total and 8.2 is the average. So from the average point of view, Vani's average looks better than Ramu's. But Ramu has a different argument. He says, let us sort our data into ascending order. So he did the same for Vani's and Ramu's scores and he picked the middle score. He said, my middle score is better than yours. So he says Ramu's middle score is better than Vani's. And he didn't stop there. He used the same data table, sorted data table, and said, you have obtained 8 marks in maximum number of subjects, whereas I have obtained 10 marks in maximum number of subjects. So my most scored is better than yours. Okay. What are all these three? These three are called measures of central tendency. The first one, average, in a formal statistical world is called mean, and middle score is called median, and most scored is called mode. Okay, now let's look at each of these measures of central tendency in detail. Let's start with mean. Okay, the definition says the mean or average of a number of observations is the sum of the values of all the observations divided by the total number of observations. So the formula is mean equal to sum of all observations divided by number of observations, right? And it is written as x with a bar on top of it and is called as x bar. So if you have n number of observations denoted by x1, x2, x3 and so on xn, what you can write is sum of all observations is x1 plus x2 plus x3 and so on xn. In the short notation, you write this as summation of xi, I running from 1 to n. Okay, here I is the index. If for example, I equal to 1, xi denotes x1. Okay, and the symbol sigma here is summation. Okay, so mean is equal to x bar is equal to summation of xi, where I is running from 1 to n divided by n. Okay, let's keep this formula aside and try to work out an example problem. So you remember the problem that we worked in the first video of statistics, marks obtained by 30 students out of 100 marks. And the table looked like this. So here my total number of observation is 30. So if I substitute n as 30 in the formula, x bar becomes summation of xi, where I is running from 1 to 30 divided by 30. Okay. So how do you calculate the numerator in this formula? Summation of xi is equal to x1 plus x2 plus and so on x30. So the brute force way of calculating this is directly to sum all the 30 numbers, 10 plus 20 plus 36 plus 92 plus and so on until 88. The sum is coming out as 1779. So the mean is nothing but 1779 by 30, which is coming out as 59.3. But here the direct summation looks unnecessarily complicated, correct? So let us see if we can find a easier and structured way of calculating this summation. So let me take an example problem here. So if I ask you a question, what is the sum of 10, 10, 10, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30? So the brute force way of calculating is direct summation, all 8 numbers. Alternatively, if you notice the pattern, there are 3 10s and there are 5 30s, correct? Sum of 3 10s can be written as 3 times of 10 and sum of 5 30s can be written as 5 times of 30, correct? Here 10 and 30 are called values and are denoted by xi, and 3 and 5 are called frequencies which are denoted by fi. Okay, so my sum can be written as summation of xi times fi, where I is running from 1 to m. Here m is the number of unique values. Okay, keep this formula aside, and now let's try to work out the same problem using this formula. Okay, now let's start using the frequency distribution table. So frequency distribution table is also worked out in the first video of this module. It is like this. So the first column is marks, which is xi. Second column is frequency, which is fi. Let me add a third column here, which is product of xi and fi. Okay, and let me calculate for each row. For the first row, it is 10 into 1, which is 10. Similarly, for the second row, 2 into 1, 20 into 1, it is 20. Third row, 36 into 3, 108. Similarly, you keep calculating for all the rows. And finally, after you calculate all the rows, what you need to do is take a summation of all the numbers in the column number 3. That is coming out as 1779, correct? Now, mean is nothing but sum of values divided by total number of observations, correct? And we have already calculated the numerator of this formula, that is 1779. Denominator is n, which is 30. So 1779 by 30 is equal to 59.3. See, you got exactly the same value for the mean using this method and the previous method, correct? So now let's move on to the next measure of central tendency, which is median. The definition says the median is that value of a given number of observations which divides the data set into exactly two parts. So this is after you sort the data either in ascending or descending order. Okay, please remember that. So let me take heights of some students here. Here the total number of students is 15, which is an odd number. So when n is odd, you need to pick n plus 1 by 2th observation. So n plus 1 by 2 here is 15 plus 1 by 2, that is 16 by 2. So 8th observation. So if I take height of the 8th student when after arranging them into ascending order, that will be my median. Okay, let's say I have 16 number of students. Now my n is even. When n is even, median is average of n by second and n by 2 plus 1 observation. So n by 2 is 8 here, n by 2 plus 1 is 9. So I have to take average of 8th and 9th student when I want to take a median of this. Okay, let's quickly do couple of example problems to understand more. Find the median of the numbers 5, 17, 4, 3, 6, 7, 9, 5, 22. Here I have 9 numbers. The first step I need to do is to sort them either in ascending or descending order. I am arranging them into the ascending order. So now my total number of observations is 9, which is odd. So I need to pick n plus 1 by 2, that is 9 plus 1 by 2. So fifth observation will be my median. So here fifth observation is 6. So median of the given numbers is 6. So let me take next problem. Almost the same problem, but here I have removed the last number 22. So my total number of observations have become 8. After arranging them into ascending order, the numbers are like this. But here, since my number of observations is 8, I need to pick n by 2, which is 4, and n by 2 plus 1, which is 5. So 4th and 5th numbers average will be my median. Okay. So 4th and 5th numbers are 5 and 6. So 5 plus 6 by 2 is 5.5. So my median of the given numbers is 5.5. Okay, very simple. Now let's go to the last measure of central tendency, which is mode. The definition says the mode is that value of the observation which occurs most frequently. That is, an observation with the maximum frequency is called the mode. Okay, the definition is very straightforward here, and let us try to understand with a simple example. Find the mode of the following numbers. The numbers are given 4, 6, 5, 9, 3, 2, 7, 7, 6, 5, 4, 9, 10, 10, 3, 4, 7, 6, 9, 9. Okay. Remember, the first step is to arrange them in the ascending or descending order. so that the frequency will be visible. So I am arranging them in the ascending order here. The order is like this. Now you can clearly see here that 9 is occurring 4 times more than any other number, correct? So 9 is the number with highest number of frequency. So mode of the given set of numbers is 9. So friends, in this video we have introduced the measures of central tendency and understood their meaning and worked out the examples. And stay tuned, in the next videos we are going to work out the same things but with grouped frequency distribution tables. I hope you like this video. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel eCBSE Online Classes. Thank you for joining.